Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about Celestial Dungeons and everything that you need to know about them. And they are going to be coming out later today once the server is back online. And Celestial Dungeons are very new in the sense that they never were in MOP before, but it is the LFR replacement, if you will. We saw this in Cataclysm and they decided to bring it forward. It originated in Wrath with a Titan rune system, and then it built upon that, and then we got in Cata the Twilight Protocol dungeons, which rewarded you with LFR gear. LFR didn't exist until Cata, so we didn't really get to see that in Wrath, but they made it available to get a lot of Wrath of the Lich King catch-up gear, which was really nice, and then Cata, and now here in MOP. So the entire premise of Celestial Dungeons is to get LFR gear on any character you want. So for us, starting now, all of the Mogashan Volts gear will be up starting with this server reset here on later today, and that will give us Celestial gear. Now, you probably have a bajillion questions about Celestial, so what we're going to do is cover this with the blue post as well as what we know from the beta here. So we're going to switch it over to the blue post and really talk about it. So some of the key points to note is how you earn the gear and what the mechanics are. So these are the mechanics, and upon entering a Celestial dungeon, players will be greeted by August Celestial. The August Celestial. Speaking with a Celestial allows the player to get assistance granting unique powerful buffs based on which one they interact with, which I will cover that on the Wowhead page. Then the Dominion of the Empress buff is applied to creatures in the rune dungeons. Damage increased by 50%. And health increased by 100%. Every 60 seconds, a boss is influenced by proclamations of Imperial Vizier Zorlok. Zorlok demands the influence of one of the Grand Empress's lieutenant. The lieutenant will appear and cast one of their raid abilities. So this is the ooze thing. So every 60 seconds, you get a boss mechanic from what I believe is Heart of Fear, and you will just have to know what to do with it, or it will one-shot you. I'd imagine it won't be anything too crazy. I was speculating and thinking that it would be just any boss mechanic, so because we're at Mogashan Volts, we get Mogashan Volts and we get something like the Emperor Dance occurring, which would be crazy in a heroic, but then you get to hit him with the 8 mil punch after. It'd be pretty fun, but just a little speculation there. I don't think that that is coming. I think it will be from Heart of Fear only. Then how it works is each boss will drop a celestial, 2 celestial fragments per player. If players have defeated all other bosses in a dungeon, the final boss will drop an extra 3. So you're encouraged to kill all bosses and not skip any, which is awesome. Running your first celestial of the day will grant 4 fragments, and every celestial dungeon after the first will grant 2. Then there's a rotating daily quest, which we love dailies here in Mists of Pandalia. Celestial dungeons that can be picked up from Challenger Song or Wheelie in the Vale. So the challenge mode person, that will give you 3 stones for doing it. The daily will never be the same 2 in a row, and it will never be the same as the challenge mode dungeon. So hopefully that works. The cap of how many August stones the character will hold will be low at first, but will increase with the release of each tier. So you can't pre-stack to a severe amount. Like, you can't just pre-stack 200 of them and be ready to buy Toes and Heart of Fear gear right off the rip when those get released as well. Avatar of the August Celestial vendors. The vendor is where I am here in the city. It is the Heavenly Serpent that is right behind me, and I'll show you that when we switch back to the game. Then 2 weeks, so you'll be able to buy all the LFR stuff. You'll be able to buy accommodations of service for justice points, which you can convert justice to valor or justice to honor. So essentially you can buy honor points as well with these. You'll be able to get a satchel of celestial chance containing a handful of lesser charms of good fortune and a chance at some of these celestial mounts, which would be amazing. I hope I get Zwin. And then you'll be able to also get Valor points, which is really cool. Then 2 weeks after each raid is released, the items on the Celestial will update to their tables to contain the newer raids. So 2 weeks after Heart of Fear is out, and 2 weeks after Terrace of Endless Springs is out. Then this is the part that I strongly disagree about, and I'll talk about it at the end of the video. But after the raid after the final raid of a phase has been released, the Avatar of the Celestials will offer a satchel of the stone fragments for 10 stone fragments. This is a bind on account bag you can send to your ults. This allows players to gain progression through their ults through playing their main character, and also allows for a way for ults to get lesser charms of good fortune as well, which give you the tokens and are used for upgrading stuff. And then another important thing is that you will be able to earn progress towards your legendary quest line with a chance of gaining Sigil of Power and Sigil of Wisdom from end bosses of Celestial, which is absolutely amazing. And players can earn progress towards their legendary questline by defeating the Shah of Doubt and obtaining the Chimera of Doubt while in the associated quest. Players can take the route of Doubt by declining Rathian's request to harness fear, which is very interesting because I wonder if that allows us to get our Shah Touch gems now instead of later. So like we can get Shah Touch gems for our Shah weapons from Heart of Fear if we just decline it and allow it. I don't think they should allow this because that's a very, very drastic power difference, because Heart of Fear will, like, people will be able to get their Heart of Fear Shah Touch weapons and not be able to get their, and people who have Toes Shah Touch weapons, that is just an insane power spike. So I hope they disable that quest until Toes is out at the very least, so it's fair for both groups of people trying to get their Shah Touch weapons. But anyway, let me switch it over here now to the Celestial Guide. So this is just the date. So August 12th, that is today. Once the servers are back up, you'll be able to get you'll get Justice points, Valor points, the Celestial Chance RNG bag, and then Mogashan Volt's Celestial Gear, which is level 476. So keep that in mind. Everything is 476. Then on September 2nd, you will get the Heart of Fear. We'll be able to get chest and leg tier tokens and BOE wrists. And then on September 16th, we will be able to get the tier 14 shoulder helm and hands, as well as the Terrace of Endless Spring Celestial items. And finally, the much desired BOA Satchel of August stone fragments. So that is the date, and then these are the buffs right here. So Blessing of Yulon is going to be anyone as a caster DPS. It gives you int, it gives you stam, and the unique effect that your damaging spells and abilities inflict Jade Fire, burning the target for 20,000 over 10 seconds and increasing their magic damage taken by 5 seconds. This effect can occur once every 4 seconds and stack to 5. I wonder if like doing like a caster stack would be beneficial for this or not. It'll be cool to see that. Then we have Blessing of Nazu, which is melee DPS essentially, and your stamina is increased by 20%. Your strength, edge, and int is increased by 10%. So that is just a pure stat stick for everyone. And then the Chi-Ji is the healer one, and your intellect and stamina is increased by 10%. Healing spells have a chance and abilities recite a blazing song around your ally that increase their movement speed by 50%, heals nearby targets for 30,000, and burns nearby enemies for 30,000 fire damage every 2 seconds. This cannot occur once every 30 seconds. So healers are just gonna, I can't wait to do that with my monk. I'm just gonna be all over the place when I get infused by that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So this is the daily quest stuff. This is sort of the breakdown of what dungeons give the most. So Skullomance would give the most. Daily quest is 3. Your first one of the day is 4. So if you're lucky and your first day is the daily quest, you'd get 7 bonus on top of whatever doing each of these dungeons would give you. But roughly you're getting about 10 every time you do one. So that's really good to see. 10 to 15. Then you can earn your legendary quest here, which I think is really good as well, as we talked about there. Then this is the entire table for all the dungeons if you want to see them. Then the person at Starving of Shrine Stars, they're essentially above the inn and across from the inn, regardless of if you're Horde or Alliance. Then here is the entire loot table for it. I will put a link to this page here, and I will put a link to the patch notes also if you want to check it out more for yourself. But those are all the important things that I have to cover. Here is the vendor. As you can see, this is the Shrine of Two Moons right across from the inn. It'll be different for the Alliance, but this is where the Horde one is on the second floor. Right now, currently, he doesn't have anything, but he will have everything once the server comes back up. But what I want to talk about importantly is the bag. So the BOA bag is scheduled to come out in a month and 2 days from right now. And that BOA bag is supposed to give your alts the fragments and allow you to play your alts. And I genuinely don't understand the reason for delaying it. If it let people just play their main and gear their alts, the entire point of MOP, as said by the devs themselves, is that they want it to be incredibly alt friendly. Well, this bag is probably the most alt friendly feature that is truly enjoyable and would help so many people get involved and get to playing their game even more. Like, if someone wants to gear an alt, for example, my monk, my main is 485. If someone wants to gear an alt, they have to go through this. I'm going to swap to my paladin and show you what I've been doing because I can do it. But for the more casual player, I don't think this is going to be very fun or something that they would go after. And I think that bag encourages them to want to play. So my paladin is 477 right here. Tomorrow I'll get a ring and a neck, so I'll be like 482 on my alt character. My alt character with rep grinds is he'll be exalted with Klaxi, he'll be exalted with Golden Lotus, he's revered with Shadowpan, doesn't need any more from that, and he's exalted with the Tillers. So like, I don't need anything other than revered with the Celestials on my ult, and I grinded for that, right? I played it like a second main essentially, but a lot of people aren't going to be able to do that. And if you want an alt friendly thing, the best way to gear is to essentially do everything. Like, you're going to be doing your Valor, you're going to be doing your Conquest, and and you have to do tons of dailies to grind the rep if you truly want to max out a character like a main. So that bag would help me essentially gear my Hunter, gear my Druid. It would allow me to play these other characters and other alts, and while it might be more simple for a casual player to only have one alt, by all means, that's fine. But when you're advertising it's the most alt-friendly thing, I don't get why you're gatekeeping that bag. That bag would be awesome. I would play my monk and I would gear my druid, I would gear my hunter. Heck, my mage will be 90 soon too. I'll even gear him. But that would give me 5 gear 90s to do even more raids, to play your game even more, opposed to just raid logging. Right now, those characters do my Tillers farm and August Celestials. That's all they're doing. That's all I do on them. I log in, do a few dailies, farm, and do nothing. If I had that bag, I might be more encouraged to play your game. But if you make me wait for a month, no shot I'm going to do it again. Like, it's already too much doing 2 characters at this level. I don't want to do a 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever it is. And I think a lot of people feel the same, and they're going to be suffering a lot of burnout. So I'd strongly encourage you guys, if you watch this, if you hear this, to consider putting the bag in right now on Tuesday with the launch, because it will just open up an awesome can of worms for people to play your game, to raid on characters they might not, to get out there and gear. And it's 476 gear, so it's not even BIS for anyone. PvP Conquest gear is better, Valor gear is better, and normal raid gear is better than all of those things listed. So it would just be a good way to get your alts up to speed to some degree, to be able to do normal MSV, to be able to play your game. And I think that's the most important thing. You guys said you're trying to make it the most alt friendly, so that's my challenge to you. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, anything you'd like to add, definitely drop it down below. And until next time, I'll see you later. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey you. Yes, you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.